So we're here with world record holder Corey Bellemore. How are you doing today, Corey?
Pretty good. I'm a little tired still from the short trip to England, but I'm still doing pretty good.
The short trip to England, and why did you make the short trip to England?
So last Thursday I did a beer mile after work, and we took a video of it. The video went viral, and then the next day there's a meet there's a meet that weekend, and the meet directors contacted me and they flew me out to England for free to do this beer mile world classic. So I got on a flight the next day. Um, and then flew out and raced on Sunday, which was pretty crazy.
So did they make you pay for your beer, or was that free too?
No, I brought the beer I used. It was Kingfisher beer. So I brought that from Canada and then brought it over there.
Okay, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna come back to the beer.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so you are the new world record holder in the beer mile, and how fast did you run this thing?
4:34.
So that's crazy to run a mile in 4:34. Especially when you're a pleasantly plump guy like me. Uh, so how do you do a beer mile? How is it set up?
So there's a lot of restrictions. You have to have 5% beer. It has to be 355 milliliters. And you start off with a beer. You chug a beer, run a lap, chug a beer, run a lap, chug a beer, run a lap, and then chug your final beer and final lap.
So
So it's four beers, four laps.
so 4 pints, all over 5%.
Yeah.
So I mean, during that fourth lap, you have to be kind of a little weak in the legs, aren't you?
You're definitely tired and your stomach is just extremely bloated. So like the biggest thing is just like you try and get out like burps because you have so much crap in your stomach. So get out the burps and then just try and run as fast as you can.
So you do 4 laps and drink 4 pints of beer, and you did this in
Yeah.
4 minutes and 34 seconds. What was the old record?
The old record was 4:47.
So you ran it in Canada.
Yeah, I did it after work one day, ran 4:39. We taped that and like that video went viral that night. And like Canadian Running did it's like a big magazine
Yeah.
in Canada. They posted an article that night, like literally like 2 hours after that video went viral. And then yeah, then I went to bed. Like the next morning, I was working again, and the meet directors like contacted me and said, "We'll fly you out to England for this meet on Sunday. Let us know if you're down." So I was like, "Hell yeah!" Like they're gonna pay $1,400 for the plane ticket, like accommodations.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Is it like a regular track meet, or where was it in the UK?
It was in London, England.
It was in London.
So
So when you show up, is it like a regular meet, or is
yeah,
it
it
just
wasn't
full of a
like
bunch of beer people?
a little bit of both actually. Um, a lot of people there are like semi-serious runners, but obviously like to have a little more fun.
Hmm.
And then the crowd there was just all like they were all loaded. It was pretty sweet.
And so you show. Is there more than one event, or is there just like the beer
So
mile?
there, yeah, it was just a beer mile actually. So there was like lots of open heats that went earlier in the day, and then there was like elite heats afterwards.
All right. So what made you choose to do the beer mile in the first place for the video last Thursday?
Uh, that wasn't really my decision. It was a friend that came over with a case of beer and wanted me to try it. So gave it a shot that day after work, and after that, it just blew up.
So you beat the old world record just screwing around.
Uh, yeah, just having fun with it, really.
And so how does your beer mile time compare to your regular mile time?
I usually do 800 meters on the track. Like, I'm a pretty serious runner, actually, so it
Yeah.
looks like it's funny. Everyone's seeing all this beer mile stuff. But my regular mile time would be like a sub 4 minute mile.
You're chugging 4 beers in like 35 seconds.
Approximately, yeah.
You get over to the UK and you go ahead and you run this mile and you beat the old world record. And it looked like second place came pretty close to the old world record.
Yeah, yeah.
So is that elite? These are all pretty serious runners that are really
Yeah. The guy who got second in the race was a 338 1500 guy. So he was Olympic standards like 336 for 1500 meters.
Hmm. When you show up at this event, each competitor gets to pick which beer. You picked Kingfisher. Why Kingfisher?
Uh, this is a funny story too. So, my friend like knew the requirements were 5% and then 355 liters. So he literally went to like in Canada we have LCBO, like it's a liquor store
Hmm.
because everything's regulated. So he went there, asked the lady working if she could find him a beer that met those requirements, and she came back with Kingfisher. So I'd never tried it before, and she brought that back, and I used it for the beer mile, and it worked. So second time I went to England, I used the same beer because it worked the first time.
They were so. If Kingfisher is out there listening, they should definitely be sending you some swag
Oh yeah,
pretty
yeah,
quick.
for sure.
Hats, T-shirts,
Beer.
a free beer. So, how did you get? Are you into beer, like craft beer, or are you a beer guy in general, or
Yeah, I like casual beers. I don't like obviously like when I chug it, I can't enjoy it, but
right?
um, I do like beer, yeah, for sure.
So, what's kind of your favorite?
I like Granville Island a lot. If you heard of Granville Island,
I have
I like
not.
Steam Whistle. No, both craft beers.
These are Ontario craft beers.
Yeah, I like a lot of Canadian ones. So you probably wouldn't know them just because microbreweries, but
Yeah, well, it's funny that you're in Montana and we're just starting to get, we get a few beers from BC and a few from Alberta, and
yeah,
then you know the rest of Canada just kind of dries up for us. We just don't get them in
yeah.
this state. We get a lot of kokanee.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Kokanee's the big, our big Canadian beer. Um, so you like? How do you describe these two? Like this? What was the first one that you really liked?
Uh, Granville Island.
And what kind of beer is that?
It had like a winter ale, so it has like a caramely taste sorta.
Hmm.
It's a seasonal beer, but it's extremely smooth. Like it's a good beer, darker beer, but
Darker
very good.
beer, and the other one was.
Steam Whistle.
And what's that?
That's like a Toronto-based beer. It is sort of it's a lighter beer for sure. Um, and it doesn't really have many like ingredients to it. It's just very like plain beer, but it's just extremely smooth as well.
Oh,
I
that's
feel like
cool.
I feel like Steam Whistle, the more you have, like the better it tastes, if that makes sense.
I know a few like that. Once you're on beer two or three, it's like, oh, this isn't so bad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so first beer is all right, but after that it just gets more smooth and more smooth.
Getting back to the beer mile, has there been anything coming out of that in terms of like people wanting to endorse you or beer companies contacting you?
There's been a little bit. I've actually talked to Kingfisher briefly today, so I'm gonna send them an email later tonight. And there's a beer mall they're talking about in Las Vegas in September that they want to fly me out to. So we'll see about that. That has some prize money they're hoping. So
Oh, that would be cool. So you're just like the star of the beer mile right now.
yeah, but I do have one more year of university left, and I do run for the team in Canada. So I
So
have to be a little cautious with that because I don't know how my coaches will feel about that.
so you so when you go to the meet, are they gonna announce Corey Bellemore world record beer mile?
I think it depends on the meet, but that'd be pretty funny.
That'd be your big accolade, to start the meet.
Yeah,
So you said you usually run 800 meters is your
yeah,
usual. Running this as a young guy, that I've heard people say that beer can be like a good post workout drink.
yeah.
Do you
There's a
use
lot of
it that way?
uh, not often, but occasionally after like a crack open a beer after my run and sit by the pool. But as far as that goes, I don't like to push it too much after that.
Right. Yeah, you gotta keep it under control.
Yeah,
Kind of to put a knot on this, you're going down to Vegas. Looks like in September for a meet.
possibly. Yeah, we'll have to see.
You have to see how things go with college. Uh, are you going to kind of make this an annual thing to the UK though? You think that did you have a
It
good
travels.
time?
it travels every year. So I think last year this World Classic was in San Francisco,
Okay.
and they're trying to like spread it around a bit. So depending where it is next year, I'll definitely see about going again.
Well, see, I think they could do it in Missoula, Montana, because we got 7 breweries in town,
Solid.
and they're all about 400 meters apart. So you could just
Yeah.
just run from brewery to brewery.
That'd be
Well,
hilarious.
it would be great. Well, congratulations on setting a world record, even if it's an unintentional world record. Those are kind of the best kind. Like, I didn't know I could do this, and all of a sudden you're
Yeah.
doing it. Well, thank you so much for being on Last Best Beer Show, and I hope to hear from you down the road when you do another beer mile.
No problem. Thanks a lot for having me.
All right, talk to you later, Corey.
All right, talk to you later.
Bye bye.